Todd here.
Okay,
Okay, we're good.
that's Chase.
So then you're gonna.
I'll just summarize basically.
In case you have to read everything. I gotta come in the wrong here. Okay.
We're ready.
It's one of those challenges.
You said August, July 23rd. Oh, I already put it down.
You said yes.
Yeah, it's already written down.
Hey, nice chat though.
I am prepared, I just
You
never
are,
look at it.
yeah, you're so prepared, you didn't know you were prepared.
Exactly.
Since budget been before, do you want to report that tonight? No?
I'll just write up something.
Okay, we're next.
It's 6 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, very good. I'll read the district mission statement as well. In partnership with the communities, the mission of the Dilworth Linden Felton School District is to educate individuals in an environment of trust and respect so they become self-directed, responsible, lifelong learners. All right, on to number 3 with the roll call. We've got everybody here except for Angela and Micah. Also, we've got Shannon, Mr. Hunstead present, and Dalton as well. Got a couple guests. On to number 4. This is to approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
So,
Motion by Brittany.
we're all fighting for that.
Seconded by Nicole. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 5, this is for public comments and rebel recognition. I don't think we have anyone for public comments, but rebel recognition. Open the floor.
I would say thank you to the Rebel Kids Care staff, just that they're super busy. We see them every day and it smells like sunscreen in the hallways because they go to the pool just about every day, which is awesome. So the kids are always jazzed to go over there. So all those students that are helping and the adults, it's just a big group. And I just want to say thanks to that staff. They do a great job. So.
And the principals in the park it looked like it was a lot of fun. We were not able to attend to them, but it looked like a lot of fun, and it was great for the principals to give up their time in that way and connect with their kids.
Anybody have anything else for rebel recognition? All right. We will move on to number 6, 6.1, board committee reports. Start with the policies committee.
Well, I have a question. I was unable to find my notes, so I was hoping that Troy would remember.
Yeah, so I got a pile of notes here. Again, we met here a couple weeks ago, went through a lot of policies, looking at 24 of them in one meeting, which got to be a little long. We had talked with Shannon on a couple of them, a student attendance one we'd followed up on, and an internet one that we'd followed up on, but it seems everything was good. I talked about the handbook will get reviewed in August, so some of the stuff that we'll have in here will be in that. So no big changes that I recall, Shannon, on there.
Yeah, that's correct. A lot of these, or half of them roughly, are these one reads, so it's an annual thing. And to Troy's point, a lot of them get addressed in the student handbook. And so we just wanted to make sure we talked with the principal to make sure that language was going to be the same in the handbook as it is in the policies. And the principals have reassured me that it would be.
Any questions or discussion on policies? Were there some MSBA suggested changes to policies.
Yeah, that's one thing we always look at, the red line, so a lot of that's just some legal jargon for the most part. Again, there was nothing substantial as far as a change to a policy. It was just those legal updates, I guess I would say. Yep.
All right, any other questions for the policies? All right, we'll go on to the board work session.
Yeah, and we just threw that on there just because it's July 23rd. Todd is here tonight too, RAP, and his team's gonna have some information for us on that July 23rd. That'll be a big day to talk about kind of what's next, depending on what happens tonight with the resolution regarding referendum or not. So that'll be a part of it. The other part we're gonna spend a lot of time on in the morning after that is about our strategic plan. And all the directors and principals will be there to talk about their departments and what their priorities are for this upcoming school year. We have some district ones in there as well. So that we'll review the strategic plan. They've been working through and updating it, taking things out, putting stuff on the accomplishment page and whatnot. And then just an overall update. So we'll go through that. And then to make sure that everybody's on the same page with our direction. Then you have my evaluation too in the afternoon. So all the directors and principals will leave after lunch, and then you'll do my eval, and then it'll just be kind of an open time for the board. Just have discussion about school items, whatever else comes to mind. So it's kind of an open forum for you guys.
Were we gonna talk about July 2nd?
Yes, that was.
Work
my-
session? I think that's, so I can just go over real quick.
Sure.
We met on July 2nd.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, yep. The July second work session.
That's fine.
Just got excited
That's
about
all right.
the July 23rd one.
That's where I was going.
So we met on July
I love that
2nd
already.
to discuss, because it's a big deal, what we wanted on the agenda for today in terms of referendum. And we had just an excellent discussion. I think it was July 2nd.
It was.
Really an excellent discussion on various aspects between operating levy referendum, capital projects referendum. And we'll talk more about that because it is on the agenda for today to pass a referendum. But ultimately, we decided it made better sense to have one type of referendum, not have two. And to determine the dollar amount, ultimately, we looked at what we thought the district could afford and what would pass. So it was a great discussion. Everyone participated, and it was excellent. I don't know if anyone's got anything to add to that right before it was there. So. All right, let's go on to 6.2, superintendent report.
All right, don't have to talk about the work session, so, okay. Summer work, so you guys know that there's some work being done this summer. The gym floor is done. When we're done, if you want to take your shoes off, you can walk around in socks in there, or you can look at it through the doors, but it is done. And we're just waiting for the sealant to totally cure, I guess, before we do anything on it. But that is done, looks very nice. The science room, I was just down there today, and I talked to Mike Peterson this morning. They're gonna be replacing the pipe later this week. They already have concrete planned or scheduled for July 25th, so he said we have to have it ready and backfilled, and we're gonna verify as soon as the pipe's done later this week, run the camera. They know that, we had that conversation with them today. We need to see the camera and put water down and make sure it flows the right way before they start covering it up, so. But he does have it scheduled. He said, I scheduled the concrete guys for the 25th. That forces us to get it done. I said, that's what I needed to hear. I said, my board needed to hear that too. So appreciated that from him. And then the flooring has to get done and all those things. And he says his goal that he shared with me this morning is the first week of August, that they can be done and gone. And hopefully that's true. The tunnels, good news, there was no asbestos in the tunnels, so we didn't have to do that. They're all clean, they're all done, and they've also sprayed it with a antifungal and mold spray. So the whole tunnel here in Glidden was all cleaned out and also cured or sprayed with that particular product. So Chase is really happy about that, and so is I.
Have we ever cleaned that before? Has it ever been?
Chase is newer than me, and since I can't ever remember if it's ever been done ever, so. It was quite a mess.
Not
So.
since Laura and I have been here, I don't think.
One of the concerns that we have is obviously moisture down there, right? And so Chase has got 2 dehumidifiers, and now it's on a routine check from his maintenance guys. They were not checking it. 2 of them were unplugged, didn't even know they were unplugged because it's a part of their routine. Now they'll check it. And so it's things like that that just haven't been put in place. He does have a concern with one drain on the building. He's a little afraid that the moisture gets there. If you know that, by the science rooms, that little void, you know, in the middle of the building here, that's got thistles growing in it right now. It's just off Mr. Tank's room and Tran's room.
Yeah.
There's that space, that void. He's worried that the tunnel isn't too far from that, that when it rains, do we get moisture in there, and is that getting into the tunnel potentially? He's gonna check on that and see if there's something we can put as a barrier, can we drain that different, or maybe it's not an issue. He just thinks that could be part of why there's been more moisture in there than normal. Said it also could be the dehumidifiers, it could be a number of things, but he's gonna check on that. So, yeah, overall, that's positive. The flooring, I don't have it listed here, but the flooring, you know, that we've had the glue issue with, he spent 3 weeks working with a person that wasn't working there anymore. He was emailing him and he wasn't getting responses. He was getting frustrated. This is the guy. And then they called him and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, he doesn't work for us anymore." So we lost 3 weeks there, but he's still working on that and how we can get that remedied and fixed before the school year. Next is strategic plan. Talked a little bit about that already, about the updates and whatnot. So you'll see more on that on July 23rd. All school reunion, that happens this summer. That's during local days. July 26th is a Saturday. I will do a welcome for this group, for this all school reunion. It'll be in Dilworth, so I'll welcome everybody and kind of do a deal. And then Tracy's got, and their committee's got a whole list of things that those people are working on or doing. So anyway, that is the 26th. So if you're around for local days, and we're a graduate, so if there's something there that you guys are part of, I don't know.
That's something that you RSVP for like going to the Silver Spike, going to whatever, you know.
For all those events, I
Yeah.
don't know that. You'll have to check
I'm
with
just
Tracy.
wondering what the response has been. You know,
Yeah,
I
don't
think
know.
there was an RSVP to something, but
I think in
I think
in
it's-
general.
yeah, because I saw the Google form, I believe, but I didn't read all the way through it yet. I'm guessing it's for isn't there breakfast or something?
There's quite a few things.
Graduate, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, so here's what I would ask, maybe, just text or email Tracy. She'll give you, their committee's been meeting pretty frequently and discussing all that. So she asked me if I would speak and welcome, and I said, yes, I would. So other than that, she's got a list of items, and you guys know more about that than me maybe, but that people are gonna be doing. And
I think she did
So-
that even on.
Is this mostly funded by like outside sources, or is this
that
something
school's
that's?
got nothing to do with it. Yep, as far as funding goes.
Yeah, I just was wondering, because you've mentioned Tracy several times, and I know she's
Yep, she
invested
does.
in the community in lots of ways, and I was pretty sure this was the outside way, but I was just,
Yep, no, it's a fair question. Yep, no, all outside. Yep, and they have some different donations from different groups. They have, I don't know, all their, I haven't attended their meetings, I guess. Anyway, that's it from me. Questions for me?
All right. Now we'll go on to 7.1. This is to approve the regular meeting on June 23rd, 2025. Do I have a motion? Motion by Laura, second by Troy. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 8 in the consent agenda, this is to approve bills for the July 2025 in the amount of
$406,635.54.
All right. The treasurer's monthly budget report is within your packet, so we've got a light consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Motion by Brittany. Do I have a second? Second by Nicole. Any questions or discussion?
I just do want to say, remember, this is a July board meeting. We would typically know, hey, we've wrapped up last month. This is different, so this 101%, you'll see it that, so we knew we were going to be over a little bit. there are a lot of things that haven't been cleaned up yet, and so we can gain a little bit with some revenue, we can have some expenses, so we had to do the payoffs for staff. That doesn't show everything yet, so Marcus just wanted me to make sure you guys don't go, well, it's not 101. And so as we go through the audit, it'll all get finalized. He said this is a year-end closing, so this is where he's at today. He just wants to make sure people understand that, so, okay? All right.
That is fair. Any other questions or discussions on that? 406,000, a little bit higher this month.
Yeah, one of the things that, and I emailed you, Shannon, here late or whatever, so you probably haven't had a chance to look at it, but it's like Chromebooks or whatever, so we're spending like 140 grand on that. So is that is that normal each year is what the spend is? And then the follow-up question to that is have we, I know we talked at sometimes about, do the younger classes not, start sharing, or do we do something there? Is that, have we went anywhere with that, or where are we?
Yep, we've had a lot of discussion. This is a rotation. This is the 4-year rotation. Used to be a 3-year. We went to a 4-year. And this is kind of a rotation. And I'm sorry, I was going to check today what grade level this was for and what it is. We haven't implemented the sharing one yet because those devices weren't yet to mature, but it's for sure on our list of items. We talked about first grade, how they could share potentially, second grade, and then when don't they share? Yep. So it hasn't changed yet, but it's definitely in there. And this is kind of when we talked about curriculum and technology, because our curriculum is tied a lot to technology too. I better not say. I can't remember if this is 9th grade class or if this is what, I can't remember, but it's his rotation. And yeah, that's kind of, actually, and this is a good price because we got this locked in before any tariff thing was happening. Because the tech company said, if you can lock it in now, we'll guarantee the price. After that, we can't guarantee it. And so, yeah, it doesn't look like a great price. It's just a lot of devices, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry, Troy, I didn't see.
No, I said that.
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock. I said, so I figured you hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? Consent agenda.
Oh, I should say this, and I don't know if Troy's okay with this, but Troy and Marcus shared a little bit about your meeting that you had with them too. So if you guys look at the one document, it shows some revenues. And now I'm going to, I got it here somewhere. Yeah, it just shows our revenue. It's on that same, like we spent the 400 some thousand. Isn't it on that sheet? Oh, you think like it's gonna be the last sheet I find?
It's on the last.
Oh, it's on the back of this one. Oh my goodness. I have it. Anyway, did you guys see that on the bills, where it says 400? Oh, for goodness sake. In any case, it's showing you up-to-date revenues to date. And so when you start comparing it, no, it's the one that's got
It's on the bill.
our bill sheet.
Ruby's the only one who gets the bill sheet.
Oh,
I was like, that's just online, you just get the.
You just want where the total was?
yep, yeah, right there, perfect. And so on this sheet, the board meeting, so it talks about all the different funds and the expenses. One of the things Troy and Marcus were meeting and talking about is there any way to see in the different funds then, same funds, what our revenue was for that month? And so that's on that sheet. So that's something we could share with everybody too, so you can all see it. And Marcus said, oh, that's a good idea. I said, yeah, that's an easy thing to share. So you can say, are we keeping up this revenue? And you can see on the one, our total or month to month, where our revenue is at to date. You know, it's usually behind, but at the end of the year, it gets closed out. Remember, special ed funding comes the year after, so it's a 90-10 kind of a deal. But yeah, so I thought that was, that we're talking about bringing up. So thank you, Troy.
Anyone want to look at it quick?
It's in the email that I sent.
I was gonna say, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Electronically.
Is there any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go on to number 9, new and unfinished business. 9.1, policies. This is a motion to approve the second reading of the following policies. 6.12.1, development of parent and family endangerment policies for Title I program. 6.13, graduation requirements. 6.14, school district testing plan and procedure. 6.15, testing accommodations, modification and exemptions for IEPs. Section 504, plans and LEP students. 6.16, school district 618, assessment of student achievement, 619, staff development for standards, 620, credit for learning, 621, literacy and read act, 623, mandatory summer school instruction, and 624, online instruction. Do I have a motion? Motion by Troy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nicole. Any questions or discussion? We already talked about this a little bit. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.2, this is for the first and only reading of the following policies. 414, mandated reporter of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse. 416, drug and alcohol testing. 418, drug-free workplace / drug-free school. 425, staff development. 501, school weapons. 503, student attendance. 515, protection and privacy of people records, TGF specific information. 516, student medication. 516.5, overdose medication. 524, internet acceptable use. 534, school meals. 602, organization of school calendar and school day. 606.5, library materials. Do I have a motion? Motion by Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. Any questions or discussion?
One thing to bring up, we talked about that because of the way the calendar year works is that for school year 26, 27, 27, 28, we'll be able to go before Labor Day if we so choose, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. It's a nice change. Gives us some flexibility.
Yeah, because the calendar is so tight, it might be something to consider for sure.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.3, this is to approve the first reading of the fiscal year 26 fees as presented. These were in your packet, Roxanne. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Nicole, do I have a second? Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion?
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll just bring up a few things and then, that I want you guys, or you should, or you probably already have questions about. There's a few items that are different and or something that we haven't changed them yet, I guess, they're in yellow. And that is our sub-rate pay. So last year was $150, is that what we want to stay with? We can discuss that over the next couple of weeks. The other one that we talked about, or that's been brought to me, is we have a few subs that spend, I would say, 3/4 of the year with us. And it's somebody, or we have a few of them that they're just here, they save us constantly. And so the conversation got brought up, is there ever a point of days, they're not consecutive, so they're not a long-term sub because they're subbing in different rooms. Is there a number of days that we can make a little bit more money? And so one of the proposals is, after 50 days, do we add $25 for that subbing day? One of the things that is nice about that person or those people that are constantly here is the kids know them, and the day just flows better because they're the same person, they already know the expectation. It's almost like a teacher, right? And so I think that has some value, and so something to consider is to add that. And then for the non-certified, same thing, after 50 days, because we have some people that come in and say we're vacant with a bunch of paraprofessionals, supervision things, that after 50 days, could they move to step 2, which is, I can't tell you off the top of my head, it's like $1, maybe more an hour or something like that. Again, it's just to say thank you for constantly helping us out. So those are two things with the sub pay. And then the other one that I met with Katie quite a few times about our event worker pay rates. And I think on the fee sheet it says see as per event worker sheet. And we changed it, the hourly, to just an event dollar amount. So, hey, I'm a ticket taker, I get X number, I get $30 an event or whatever these are. We took all the data from the Heart of Lakes Conference and some other neighboring schools, and then came up with some averages and what people get paid. And it's a flat rate. I said for budgeting purposes, I know the number. Instead of, oh, that was a 6-hour game, now we're paying this much. No, to do that game, you get $40. And so that should help us too, and I think you have that, yeah, you have it in your packet. So those are two things that are three things, I guess, I wanted to make sure I brought up. And so I think, Nicole, you got some.
The season pass.
Oh, this is the big one. Sorry, I got it right here. The season pass. The golden pass, so if you're older than 62, it was always free. Many schools in the conference, they charge those people, those seniors, a student rate fee. We don't have to, but it's again something we could look at to say, do we want to charge the golden age or the 62 and over? We've always said they're free. We're talking about maybe selling an activity pass that's the student price. It's just a thought, not against the 62-year-olds, but it's another way to say, can we offset revenue for activities department? I'm not sure that's going to generate a lot of money, but it's to say thank you or to help. And yeah, so, sorry, that was the other item.
And so if you were 62 or older, would you get into the game free?
Nope,
as well?
nope,
Currently,
you pay the student rate.
currently you pay the student?
You currently are free.
Oh, currently you're free.
You've been free, I think, for quite a few years.
Okay, got it.
And just with the budgets and whatnot, we just thought, well, is it something, because many of our Heart of Lakes conferences, that's what they do. So we don't need to be like everybody else, but I wanted to bring it here because we're having a lot of discussions about budgets, right?
Wasn't there a big thing that our students went to a game or a tournament and students were free in a couple other schools? Or like the season pass was like an entry fee for the year or something like that?
Yes,
You remember that?
you and I had that
We got
discussion.
an email, I think, about it or from somebody.
I feel like
I'm
it
gonna
was
go
part
back
of,
and
it was part of the,
Is it like
I don't know if it was like the HYPE grant, which is similar to our grant, with Jason McCoy, but they offset that where like the students.
Puts money towards that, activity
Correct.
fees or something?
Well,
Or season passes?
Season passes, so then students were able to get season passes, so then we were providing additional, opportunities for students in a positive way.
Sure.
Personally.
Having them somewhere to go that's safe and under.
Correct, and
as
then
opposed to being
they're
somewhere else.
feeling the community and they're feeling that the staff and the parents and whatever are feeling, connected, because that's what we were trying to do with that grant,
Yeah.
is to increase those numbers. So that was one of
Do you
the
remember where
discussions.
that discussion happened? Was I don't think I was there.
I think
I'm trying to remember.
I think we got an email
We might have just gotten just the two
or
of us.
just or was it a pit stop in person? I don't know. I think it was because some kids went to a game and you could scan a code at the door and pay like $3 to get in for like a student, but then their school's student activity pass was like $10. I'm pretty sure it was DL, wasn't it like the first game of the year last year for volleyball or?
And they were offset by some grant of some sort, you
I'm
think?
not sure, because
Maybe.
the ticket people wouldn't know that, or the people going in probably, but
I can
It was just a good-
but I think it was part of the positive community norms, connections, because I feel like there was also signage in that school regarding that, and I actually felt like it was our girls playing basketball.
okay, basketball.
But, and Park Rapids came to mind, so we're all over the place.
Don't quote us on anything, but
But,
That was east of here, yeah, there you go.
most likely, yes, it was not morning. I can do some more research into
Yeah, I'll
that too,
look back.
and,
Well, yeah, and this is our first reading, so if there's something there.
okay, first reading,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you can, please, yeah, if you find something out.
Personally, my thought is the golden age pass, I think, especially as we're moving towards electronic tickets. I have a hard time with charging our older population because they're already struggling to come and get in. And I know that there was some discussion at different tournaments when it was electronic only purchased. Some of the grandparents just turned around and walked away. If they didn't have somebody there with them, if the person didn't just say, okay, come on in, we don't care, like, whatever. I think that if they're gonna continue to support the school, I think that they should be able to come and cheer on whoever, whether they know somebody or not. I think that that's something we can do for them, especially with a large population on fixed incomes and the uncertainty that can come with that. That's just my 2 cents. My other question came with the sub-pay, which you were answering, so thank you for doing that. My question is, when it's 50 days of subbing, does that include, like, if they are only requested for a half day, do they get that additional $25 even if they only subbed for Or do they have to sub like twice to create the one day?
Yeah, it was gonna be a total of 50 days is what we thought, so whatever it adds up to 50 days, so I guess if you came, and I don't think we get any, what's that?
50 full days.
50 full days, so if you're here for a half day, that's a half day, another half day, that's a 1 day, yeah. So, and again, 50 can be 30, it can be
I mean,
60.
I don't know how it affects our, I don't know how it affects our budget, but I almost feel like if they're giving up even partial 50 days, like,
It should be counting as a day. Yeah.
just, I would want to see where it affects how that would affect our budget overall and how much it would how much extra it would cost us. But I do think like we have a sub shortage too, and if we can take care of those people, you know, like I can think of a few of our retired teachers who've come back who have, you know, really no need to come back other than that they love our school community and keep coming back for more. I think we should be trying to take care of those people the best that we can.
Do we have data on how many days are high flying long-term subs or frequent subs?
I would say, just from what I know, and Brooke would know this better because she gets to see frontline every day, I would say this is probably gonna affect 2, maybe 3 people. So we're not talking a big impact at all.
Then
Am I right?
Then I would
Yeah.
say that even the half day should count to a full day.
And it's not consecutive, right? It's just
No,
50 days
just
within
50
a-
days, yeah. Because, I mean, my goodness, I just can think of somebody in particular in the middle school. I can't tell you how many times this person's here. It's just about like, oh, you're a full-time employee. And we pay him the same every day. It's like, he manages the room better, the kids already know him, it's got value, there's no doubt. And so, yeah, that's, so.
Any other questions or discussion?
And again, it's first readings, yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm with Nicole on the side of, I think the goal, I think we leave it alone. Also, one question on the payments that we're paying for event workers. So is there times that students are there by themselves without an adult, or is it always an adult and a student?
There should always, well,
Because, again, here's where I'm going with the question, is if we're gonna have 2 students do a scorebook, clock shot, libero, or time trackers, whatever it is, why do we pay them less than we're gonna pay an adult, if an adult's not gonna be there? If they're gonna expect to do the same, how I'm understanding
Because
this, they're,
these are like middle school games too, so they're like getting paid to do the score at like a 7th grade basketball game.
it is, it's almost, well, I'd say it is 100%, the student payment is all for middle school coverage. It's official, but it's not official because it's, you know what I mean, it's a different level. If there was a mistake in the scorebook or the scoreboard, they fix it, right, you know. It's not like a varsity high school league sanctioned activity. Again, this is just an average from the region and what we did, and again, it's
My
not a
other
crystal ball.
question is, if this is an event worker, why do we not have concessions in here for the people who assist with concessions?
Say that again, though?
If this is an event worker, wouldn't concessions fall under that? So anybody other than Tracy who fills in at concessions, shouldn't there be a set rate?
Well, that doesn't run through the athletics department or activities department, that runs through community ed, so we can talk about community ed if they want to do that, or the advisory council, how they want that to look. Yeah, this, I guess we're just talking about what gets paid out of the activities account. So, yeah, that's a
I
good
just
point.
think like if transparency, if we're going to be marking all these, I think we should have, those same.
Yeah, this is through Fund 1, and so that's Fund 4, so that would be something, can I talk to Tracy, they have it at her advisory council?
I mean, yeah, I just think that would be
Yeah,
good to have if we're gonna be marking all this stuff out.
yep,
Because I assume that there's, a standard, whatever somebody gets paid, whether you're a student or an adult worker.
yep, and Tracy has that, so,
Yeah.
yep, for sure.
I do have a question. For the Todd School Readiness, am I correct in saying we do have a part-time program now?
We do,
And the fee's not on there, so we should probably just add it.
okay.
Unless I'm missing
where
it,
are we at?
the early childhood.
Midway down, like at the subway.
It's just full-time, we don't have a part-time rate, even though we do have part-time
Yeah,
classes.
okay, I'll have to check, I think that's prorated, but I'll check with Tracy.
Oh, okay.
I think it's, yeah, I'll check with her though. It's just prorated, but let me make sure. Is any on the advisory when that was brought up? I don't know, I know this
Yeah,
just
We're
happened.
on
Yeah, we're on it. I think,
Okay.
I think she talked about that. I think Tracy had talked with us about it, about what
Okay.
the rate would be, but I don't.
Yeah, and I'll check with her, I'll check with her. And I'll check with the concession thing there too.
Any other questions or discussion?
Just a real quick one, so who is it that has a discussion on what dollar amount to increase the fees? Like if we're going from, an adult season pass from 60 to 70, like who's at the table then?
Yep, so that was a discussion with Katie and I.
Okay,
Yep, and then we talked about it, and then I had her get the data, so she brought in
to like.
her on Holly, Lake Park, Lawrenceville, the whole conference, and then some. And so we just looked at it all, and that's, how do we fit in there? We're still in the middle, I would say, overall, and I guess that's where we took the data from.
Is the overall, when you say we're in the middle, like when we increase student ones from $30 to $50, does that, take into account the $30 or the $50 that we're in the middle?
I would say we're still in the middle, in fact, we're probably a little lower on some of these than.
With the 526 fees or the 24?
Yep, nope, with the new fees.
Okay.
The new fees, I'm not gonna say we're catching up, because we're ahead of some, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we are still, I would say, still middle of the road on this, yeah.
I'm okay, increasing the adult, season passes. I'm a little concerned at, raising the student season passes when we're trying to increase, positive community connections and school and all of that, and almost doubling our student passes.
Well, one of the reasons why the student passes went up, or the reason why this discussion was up, is because we're gonna go to that online tickets, because the whole conference there's $1 fee. So then we're gonna have
I
to
thought
pay
it
for
wasn't
them.
gonna cost us anything, that's why we were doing it.
No, it's a process. It's not costing the school anything, it's costing the people. So, in other words, it's just, we don't have to. That was a suggestion, again, that's what the other schools were doing. Since they were all going to this, they were adding $1 to it. Okay, we don't have to. This is just, based on what the conference.
I just feel like,
We
I
can be
think Brittany and
different.
I were probably, just based on the facial expressions I just saw, but, that was our understanding, was that there wasn't gonna be cost to the district. And I guess the way I felt that it was presented was that our constituents are our district. So
Yeah,
I didn't think there was
that's a
going
good
to be a
point, yeah.
fee to that, to our students specifically.
yeah,
So that could be-
so you're
that
right.
could be
So
a-
we're hitting them twice, is what you're saying.
Because we're upping the fee, but if we're not taking the hit on the fee, then they
Because
still
they are
are.
paying for it. Well, but are we talking about the season pass, right?
Yeah,
Not
I'm
the
talking
single
about
game?
season
I'm
pass.
sorry, yeah, the single game is up. And we raised I see, I'm sorry, 30 to 50 and 60.
So it costs $1 for every time someone pays for a ticket?
Yep,
So are we also taking cash still or not?
nope,
We're at
That-
all,
that-
starting,
that's the plan. Yeah.
Well, that person, whoever made that system, is making bank. Hundreds of people, they make $100 for every game. It does not cost them $100 to process all of that. And there's more than 100 people. who-
The one thing I'll tell you that's nice about this, no cash.
except for when I send my 10-year-old into a game by herself and she has no way to pay.
And she has a cell phone, because some parents like me are mean and we don't have cell phones for kids.
Yep, she'll have to get tickets, however,
Like,
it's great discussion. I'm all for it. I'm just telling you, we have no more cash handling, no more losing cash, we don't lose any cash. But just that whole checks and balances, it's done. All the recordings, all the reports, they're just boop, 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 here's what it is, it's done. No,
So we're gonna go to a cashless system in like concessions too then?
not yet, but there's some discussion on that. Yep, and so, you guys are the school board, so we can.
I'm just processing.
Yeah, for sure. You guys get to have the final say. We've talked about this a lot. It's just, it's what's happening at all your section meets, whether you like it or not. It's happened now for a couple of years. It happens at the state level. Doesn't mean we have to do it. It's also starting to happen in the conference. we can do whatever we want within the conference. We have the right to say, hey, we're still gonna have cash, hey, we're still gonna, whatever.
But if we host games, we have to use the,
Nope,
we wouldn't have to.
we're gonna have that system, but we could also accept cash though. We can.
We haven't made that, and that's a decision we haven't made, or we
Well,
have?
we talked about it last year, we talked about in the spring, we did it at some games, not without cash.
Yeah.
And the goal from Katie was to then start this fall without it. So we can have more discussion.
Maybe we
For
can
sure.
add that to our agenda for the work session.
There you go.
I would say that since we're a farming community and farmers love cash. I'm just saying.
Yep. We'll add it to the July 23rd. Katie will be here and we can have that wonderful conversation there. And that'll be before our next board meeting so that we can make a, we'll have these updated. Yeah, perfect. Great idea.
Any other questions or discussion on this?
One more, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Did I hear a joke or one
Yeah,
more?
she says, I think she's
All right.
fine.
This is just first reading, so somebody could amend it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.4. This is to approve the school resource officer contract with Clay County Sheriff Office as presented. This was in board action. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Nicole, do I have a second? Second by Nicole. Any questions or discussion?
I just want to make sure everybody knows this is a 5-year contract. We've done 2 years in the past. Mark and I talked a long time about, I don't want us to lose the SRO. We made some adjustments with their admin. I really appreciate what we have and the relationship we have with the county. And I guess I'd like to see that continue. He proposed the 5, and I like that. But I wanted to make sure you guys are okay with that, or if you want to table it, we can bring it back up. But it's nice to not have to negotiate. Every year we do a lot of negotiating in this district, which is good. It's just, I think this is one that, I guess I would hope we all agree that it's good for our school, and I want it to continue, so.
That's great.
Okay, thank you.
No, I agree. The question I had is on that sheet that he'd sent about the contract, it talked that there's 2 different rates or 2 different things in there, what?
Yep, and the reason, that's a good question. We get funding from the state, Safe Schools dollars, and we use that, and I told them last year because of this last calendar year, I just want to play ultra conservative and tight. I said, I'm sorry, we can't have her full-time. We have enough admin, we don't need her full-time, we're gonna take her at the rate that we get from the state. And so we did. Now that we're cutting in admin and I don't have an assistant principal here, that was kind of the offset. We're saving money with reducing admin, but we're gonna increase her hours so she's always here for them. Instead of like, oh shoot, Val's gone, now I need her. She'll be full-time. That's where the difference in salary, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Full-time with the district, but still available to the elementary school, correct?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, she's a district, it's a contract with the district, so yeah, she will
But
spend
you just
time.
said over here, so just for purposes of those listening,
Good
want to
point.
clarify that she is still available to the elementary and will still build relationships with all our students.
That is very true. Yep, but that's why the difference in the dollar, yep.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.5. This is a motion to approve the long-term facility maintenance 10-year revenue and expenditure projection plan as presented.
So you guys got this too, correct? In your packet, or you did not get it in your packet?
Resolution.
Just the resolution, okay. And honestly, for the 10-year long-term facility maintenance, there's nothing earth-shattering in it. There's nothing changed other than we're taking this year's and what we spent, and we have a new budget. I have a copy here for you. It's nothing. Here's the other thing about long-term facility maintenance 10-year plan. We can change it tomorrow if we need to. Ooh, the elevator broke again. It's going to change our bill in that category, and we'll have to do some adjusting. It's just so as we project out, one of the things we need to talk about, and we will have after this next year, state passed legislation that we can add roofs and levy for roofs. We're not going to do that next year because we have other stuff going on here. The other part we're going to start to project and plan for is the boilers. And you'll see, and I'll share this with you, how we're starting to plan for that out. Our goal and our hope is we can get to 2030 with them and limp them along to then, and that's where we get a little bit more of that LTFM dollar naturally from the state because our bond payment goes down. That's why we can start setting and planning for that, so we can, if anything does then happen with our boilers that are aging out, then we'll be ready for it. So, other than that, the plan is really just kind of a status quo. It shows our shortfall in dollars.
We spend all the money.
We spend all the money in our bond payment, it shows that, and so we don't have a lot left, but it shows our projection and where we're at and moving on. So if you want a detail, I do have it with me, so.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Oh, resolution, sorry. There's a resolution before we, yeah, so we have to do this by resolution. I don't think we necessarily need to do it. This is for the district's long-term facility maintenance 10-year plan. It gets submitted to the Minnesota Department of Education, but we will do it by resolution.
We need a motion and a second first.
We haven't had a motion or second.
Oh, did I talk first right away?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Sorry, I should
I'll
have.
second it.
Do I have a motion? Brittany, do I have a second? Nicole?
There we go.
The resolution is.
Get it out of the way, right?
Yes.
Any other discussion? Yeah, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
any other discussion?
I started discussion.
Okay. Okay, very good. We will do it by roll call. Nicole?
Aye.
Laura? David, aye. Brittany?
Aye.
Troy? Aye. Resolution passes. On to 9.6, this is to approve the fiscal year 26-27 bus vendor contracts as presented. Do I have a motion? Motion by Nicole, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brittany. Any questions or discussion?
I do want to say, our three companies do a great job, and I want to publicly say that here. We had a great discussion and negotiations with them. They were willing to give up another route. Part of that is, their employee pool too is shrinking, and trying to find qualified people and people with the proper license is getting difficult. Their flexibility to work with us and make some adjustments there, I just really appreciate that. And that made coming up with the settlement with the contract a little bit easier to kind of try to work together. I just want to say thank you to them and for what they do too, just in their transporting our kids and their willingness to always help out. One thing Eileen always says, when we get in a pickle and they might be a little disgruntled right away, they always step up and take care of it at the end. So there's a lot of peace in that. So I just want to say thank you to them for that. So.
And we're saving a little bit on budget.
We are, yep. This last year we actually had a savings, so. And now we're gonna have one less route, so, yeah, there's another group, another savings, so.
And which route was cut this year?
I wanna say, well, what happened is, one of the routes was taken out, and three others come in to fill in and take it, because it was, I wanna say 11.
But less kids are getting picked up
Nope,
this year.
yeah, it's just-
We haven't changed the pickups.
Yep,
just
and we're not
changing
expanding
the
log
routes.
zones, it's just other people are so close that even they said, we could have eliminated this one before, but we took two, I didn't want to take everything away, and they wanted to see if that would work. And now they're having their challenges, this is the one, we kind of they sat down with Eileen and how this bus could pick up some of those, this bus could, I think there's 3 buses that are helping out to cover that route. So no, it's a fair question, but, yep.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.7, this is to approve the non-certified contract for DM Walton Transportation Class 2, Step 10, effective the start of the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Brittany, do I have a second? Second by Laura. That I heard.
That's good.
I can only hear one thing out of my left ear at a time, Sean. Any questions or discussion?
I do want to say this, and so this kind of goes along with our contracts and our transportation department. So Dion also has a CDL. We have 2 other people on our staff that do. So let's say bus 6 driver is sick for a contractor. our people step in and help, and then the bus contractors pay them, and so, you know what I mean? So we do really help when they get in a pickle, when we can. And then other type 3 people can slip in to take that person's special ed route or that activity route, so.
Dion, transportation for special ed, is that what this?
He's just in the transportation department, so primarily I would say yes, but also can take activity bus and Suburbans and those types of things for,
Other such
yeah,
opportunities?
mostly special ed, but yeah.
So he was just a driver for bus company before, and now he's a driver for the district?
Correct.
Okay.
That, yep, yes, that's pretty much exactly what happened,
Okay.
Yep. Which is good, because we were always short and we were always getting, anyway.
And Deanna's great, so, my kid's bus driver.
Okay, there you go. Yep,
Any other questions? Or
so you got the inside scoop?
Yeah.
No, but we are very fortunate to have them, no questions. Or still have them, I guess, right?
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9.8, this is to approve the resolution relating to increasing the general education revenue of the school district in column and the election thereon. And the resolution, which is about 7 or 8 pages long, I'm not going to read everything word for word, but essentially there are a couple of provisions in here. One is that we will need to appoint clerk, and the other one is to appoint a absentee ballot board. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. You know, you've all seen the resolution in the essence. It's to increase the general education revenue by $500 per pupil. And revenue authorization will be applicable for 10 years, beginning with the taxes payable in 2026. And increase each year by the rate of inflation, beginning with the taxes payable in 2027, unless otherwise reduced as provided by law. That's the short version. The long version is a lot more in it. Anybody have any other aspects of that they would like to point out?
I would just like to point out that we're just,
Not for
Voting
discussion, but
on-
just resolution.
we're voting on bringing it to a ballot
That's correct.
through the, through our district voters.
This would go to referendum.
So, yeah, I'm not discussing it, just
No,
making
no, that's
clarification
fine.
that that's
Yep.
what this is for.
That's right, this would be.
We're not voting to pass it, we're voting to bring it to the voters.
Yeah, referendum that would be on the ballot in November. All right, do I have a motion for the resolution?
So,
Motion by Brittany, second by Laura. Any questions or discussion? You know, obviously, this is a big deal for our district. We've talked a considerable amount about the form of this, and, you know, we've had a great deal of information from Mr. Rapp, as well as listening sessions with community members, and we thank all those people that have taken the time to do that. Lots of work by Mr. Hunstead, and yeah, it's a big deal to do it, but I think it's what's necessary for the district in order to continue on in a healthy manner. We've done a great deal of work to make sure that we can get to the point we're at, but now we're at a point where the state funds don't cover our costs, really. So, any other questions or discussion?
I just want to thank everybody who was also completed the online forms and questionnaires. We received a lot of feedback, and I think that was very valuable within our discussion. That was a lot of what our discussion was on July 2nd, was a lot of the input that we received and analyzing it with those who've had experience in this type of thing before. And so I just really want to thank the public for having that, taking that time to do that, because I know that our time is very valuable and very precious, and providing that input really was able to give us good discussion points. And I think we were all in different places to start, and we're able to come back to a place where we think that it's the best for our district.
I think one thing with having that understanding or getting that understanding of everybody is how we're gonna do this, and I think the direction we're gonna go. I mean, I hope that, you know, one of the things we talked about was having community events and more input, and also making sure anybody in the community that wants to know about this after this is voted on tonight has the opportunity to know and understand it. And Shannon has talked that he will have, I mean, there will be open forums, there will be communication, there will be availability or whatever for any questions, and we just don't want anybody, we want you, whatever voters come in, whatever decision you decide to vote, we want to make sure that yes, they're informed voters.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just, and I don't wanna, be redundant, say the same things, but I need to say a lot of the same things. I need to, as your superintendent, I'm the educational leader, of the district, and we've got here, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished as a school district, before me and since me. But I just want to thank the board, because I agree with Nicole, the discussion that we had regarding this was a serious conversation, because it matters, it affects our community. But it's also something we're thinking, if we're gonna be where we wanna be in the next 10 years, if the state's not gonna step up, can our local people help us get us where we need to go? And I guess that's what this is about. And then to have those public meetings, have those public forums, having that information on fact sheets on our website, our microsite, all of these things that we're gonna create in the next few months to inform our voters. So I'm always available, and so my office is always open, my phone's always available, and my email, so please contact me. If you have any questions, it's my job to inform. So thank you again to the board for your hard work on this too. You spent a lot of time discussing it, and those meetings that we did have, they were productive, so thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to roll call. Nicole?
Aye.
Laura? David? Aye. Brittany?
Aye.
Troy? Aye. Resolution passes. Okay, on to 10.1, the board work session will take place Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, here in the DGF community room, starting at 8:30 a.m. The next board meeting will be Monday, July 28th, 2025, and starting at 6 p.m. in the DGF community room. And following that will be the personnel committee meeting on the same page, in the same location. On to number 11. This is to adjourn the regular meeting of the school board. Someone go ahead and motion. Motion by Troy, do I have a second? Second by Nicole. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion